Hello, good afternoon. I am back live, but today I am with the wonderful Sharon. And Sharon and I have been working together, probably about a year now, isn't it? I think you've been in my
Yes.
mastermind, and I think it's really useful to hear not just how, or me telling people what it's like working with me and the results and things, but actually speaking to some of my clients. So if you have got any questions, feel free to ask myself or Sharon, pop them into the comments. But Sharon, thank you for joining me.
You're very welcome. It's lovely to be here, Sarah.
Oh, and you are, well, I was going to say a yoga teacher, but you're also a complete wellness extraordinaire. And I think it's really important that, this type of business is supported, but actually coming in and being part of a community and a mastermind. And I'd love to or for you to share your experiences of not just what it's like to work with me, but maybe we start with why you decided to kind of come into the mastermind initially. What were you struggling with?
I felt very much on my own. I would read as many books and engage in freebie stuff as much as I could, but I just felt that I needed that support that was individual to me and what I was trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you were saying something along the lines of nothing changes if nothing changes. And I thought, that's me, because, I'm working my socks off, probably putting in more hours than I should be. This was only ever meant to be part-time. I've got lots of other responsibilities. How am I going to sort this business so that it works around everything else?
Yeah.
And I thought, yes, I need to come into Mastermind. I need to learn from Sarah. I need her guidance, and I need to be amongst other people who are doing similar things.
Yeah, it's so powerful, isn't it? And I think, whatever your goals are from a business perspective, you were just saying, part-time business, you've got so many other things going on in your life. And one of the things that, because I don't teach a cookie cutter approach. And I think that's really important, because there are some people that are just like, no, you have to do it this way and you have to be prepared to work in this many hours. And I remember one of our original conversations of going, actually, I have only got this number of hours. How do I grow in the ways that I want to? And I think one of the first things that we started working on was actually creating a business that was aligned to you and recognizing your energy and where that felt, and actually, creating the strategy behind it that allowed you to grow and scale, but in a way that felt good for you, based on the hours that you had, based on, the different responsibilities that you had outside of the business.
Oh, definitely. I was working too hard. Didn't have, I was probably getting a bit stressed, which for me, someone who, is all about well-being, is not good. I wasn't living, I wasn't my authentic self.
Yeah.
And now I can be my authentic self because I know how to run my business. I know better how to market my business without having to put, massive amounts of energy into it that I was putting before that was just draining me. So that energy balance is there as well.
Yeah. And actually, we added in some more things into your personal life by doing this work, didn't we? So we looked at how to create more joy, which would then have a ripple effect in your business. And I know you started singing again and going back into the choir and doing some really amazing stuff. And I think that's one of the powerful things about the Thrive Mastermind, is that actually we don't just look at things from a business perspective, because everything is intrinsic, that whatever happens in your personal life is going to affect your business, and likewise the other way around. So if we're creating more things that give you joy, that's going to have a ripple effect. But also simplifying, like we spent a lot of time simplifying your business and going, actually, how do we bring this back in based on what you want to achieve? We were just talking actually earlier before we came on that, you're going to be doing just 4 hours of teaching, but still having that same level of business, which is just such a shift from where you were beforehand.
Definitely. So my online teaching and my in-person teaching from September will be completely aligned. So students can come to me in person or they can join online. So that gives me scope to create different types of membership. They can have, a bit of both. It reduces the amount of time that I teach.
Yeah.
So with every product, every hour of teaching, it can be sold in a different way. It can be recorded for sale. I know that I've got people who I teach remotely who love the sound of some of the things that I do, the extended classes that I do, my self-care Saturdays, and they want to join in. So I will have a studio at my home,
So exciting.
and you've been helping me to realize that dream and look at how I can launch it and look at how I can maximize that space in so many ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything will be completely aligned. I won't be carting kit down the road to the church hall.
Yeah.
It will all be here. It will all be set up. The environment will be better for me, professional, and so much better for my students, and so much more to offer my remote students. So I don't even have a signal down the road to be able to take my laptop and, you know, allow them to Zoom.
Yeah.
It's silly little things like that that come with living out in the country, you know, and the space that you need to do that. So yes, and I think working with you, Sarah, I've realised that there are so many different add-ons to just going and teaching a yoga class in a church hall. You know, I've stepped out of the comfort zone and created extended classes. So I envisage them getting bigger and bigger and longer, so they'll become retreats effectively.
Yeah.
In the future. So yes, I've certainly dipped my toe in water that I didn't expect to.
And sometimes that's where the magic's kind of happening, isn't it? That you were stuck in this, I'm just teaching yoga. How am I going to get out of this space? But I want to grow, but I'm working too hard with what I am. And then when we take that sort of holistic approach, pardon the pun from being in the holistic world, but actually that higher level space of what do you want to create? Like what really lights you up? How are we then going to do that in the simplest, easiest way that feels good for you? And then building those blocks, but still having that sense check of keeping things aligned, making sure your energy's in the right place. And, you know, not just from a yoga perspective, but also a much bigger well-being, wellness program that you can support people wherever they are in the world, integrating yoga as well. And I think that's something that's just so exciting that you can, your experience, your journey, all of your knowledge doesn't just have to be plowed into teaching yoga if you don't want it to. It's actually looking at that sort of bigger picture of a business that allows you to create something that you love, but do it in a way that feels just really aligned to you and your passions.
Yeah, I think you've really struck something with me there, because what this has done is it's brought back some of the old Sharon, because I'm really starting to integrate. I was a nurse, so you know, health and well-being have been a massive thing for me, but I gave that up 15, 20 years ago now. So I'm kind of back to using my nursing skills.
Yeah.
I'm very much back to using my education skills, because I'm also a qualified teacher of adults. So I've now started writing courses again, which I wasn't doing. So yeah, a lot of the old Sharon and a lot of my life experience. I'm 60 years old now, so that's quite a lot of experience to bring to the table. So
definitely. We were talking about this as well with actually sort of building on that, a bit of a tweak in messaging. You being in the places where your ideal client is hanging out has actually led to the most exciting corporate opportunity for you, and actually running some programs for well-being, but within the workplace. And I think, yeah, that shift from being a yoga teacher and doing in-person classes in a local basis to then actually going, well, how do we take all of this experience and this knowledge to create a huge ripple effect for the people that you want to work with?
Yeah, massively exciting. So obviously one of the big things I've learned from the mastermind, not just from you, Sarah, but from the other ladies as well, because obviously we see one another's content, we support one another there, which is lovely, is how to use social media to your advantage. And I never used to be a fan. It's only in the last 6 years that I actually had a personal Facebook account, and I was probably missing a trick, really, but never too late. But yes, I had joined LinkedIn, but I hadn't had a clue how to use it. And ever since I've been on the program, I was writing on LinkedIn. And the wealth of creativity on there, so much to learn from other creators.
Yeah.
And I really found my confidence in kind of just being me and, writing about the things that resonate with me, which say something about me as a teacher. And yes, I suppose I was waiting for that really big break to happen for me. And it just came out of the blue a few weeks ago. I just got a personal message on LinkedIn from someone who works in workplace wellbeing, who really wanted to expand his business, and he needed coaches to come and work for him. And he'd been reading my post, and he said, I'd like to talk to you about a possible opportunity. And what was pretty unbelievable was we had just a 30-minute chat on Zoom. And he told me all about what he wanted to do. And he wasn't asking a huge amount of questions about me. And he said, we got so far along with the conversation, and he said, so are you interested in this? I want to ask you, is this something you would like to do? And I said, well, yes, I'd absolutely love to. And he said, well, you're in. And I said, well, is there no process that you want to take me through? Do you want a CV, or is there anything else, any recommendations? And he said, no. He said, just like you, I'm a meditator, he said, and I trust my instincts. He said, I just know this will work.
Yeah.
So pretty amazing. And I thought, well, he's been reading my posts.
Yeah.
He's
seeing the right place at the right time with the right messaging.
So yeah, I will say to anyone, it's hard work being out there on social media, but you learn so much. I think your writing really develops, and you meet some lovely people. And I have met other lovely people who aren't necessarily going to be clients, perhaps, but I met a lovely lady who does interior design, who wants to help me with my yoga studio design. I mean, how wonderful is that? Wow. But yeah, I was just waiting for that, and it came, and it was so massively exciting. And I just felt like, all the effort and energy that I put in was worthwhile, because this opportunity for me is going to be massive. I'll still be me, independently me, as a coach, as Serenity Yoga. But that momentum from being with other coaches, being part of something bigger, it's huge.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
I love that. It's still keeping that alignment to you and your energy and the stuff that you're passionate about. And just, it shows the power of having that right messaging in the right place, because people are reading it, even if they're not engaging, but actually recognizing the importance of that when you know that the messaging is landing. You mentioned something earlier around the nothing changes if nothing changes. What would you say to somebody who's in that place right now of feeling a bit stuck? Maybe they're in the same place they were about 6 months ago, 12 months ago, whatever that looks like, from actually making that step and making that decision to, I guess, invest in themselves and their business.
I would say that, however much you think I think we all need to get help. We get help for so many things in life. If we're ill, we get help, don't we? And I think the same should apply in business. There's only so much you can learn from reading books and attending courses. We really need to enlist professional help, and maybe be in a community amongst like-minded people to just enable you to grow. It may seem like it's an investment, but the investment pays off. And I would have, a year ago, I'd probably, if I hadn't invested in your support, I don't think I would be having this dream of this, and this vision, and this realization of this yoga studio. I wouldn't be on LinkedIn to seize that wonderful opportunity that has come my way.
Yeah.
So many things wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't.
So
I'd still be stuck. I'd be stuck. I'd still be stuck. So I would say, don't be stuck. Invest.
Yeah.
And it will pay off for you.
Oh, and I've loved having you and supporting you and seeing that growth and being there. And I think having that support around you, as you say, having that someone who is on that journey, who's like-minded, that you can bounce ideas off, you can see what other people are doing and think, okay, well, how could that work in my business? Or, you know, let's support each other, as you say, within the comments on social media and things. And it's something that I love seeing, is the connections that people make. And you know, there's a reason why I don't let everybody into the mastermind, because it's so important for me to have that space where people connect and they share similar values, and they can be in completely different businesses but still have that connection and still have that personality, I suppose, that is there from a supportive perspective, because we're all on our journeys, we're all at different spaces within that journey, but we can learn so much from each other and from having the guidance and things as well. It's so powerful. Okay. So good. What would you say has been the one thing that you have loved the most about being part of this mastermind?
The retreats, and you know, and it's not just because we've been in beautiful locations. It's been about getting away, leaving everything behind, so that you create that space. You create that space where you can focus.
Yeah.
And I suppose you could say, yeah, you could do that. You could go on a little retreat on your own. But when you're connected with others on that retreat and you all share the same values, and you're supportive of each other, then wonderful things start to happen. And you know, you're there facilitating. You're facilitating all of this. So you find that you work quite hard, but you have a wonderful time, and you come back and, you know, you're just ready to get going. You're on a momentum. You know, you've got new ideas because people have come forward with things they've seen things that you haven't thought of. So you really get yourself on a roll. So yes, the retreats have been really transformative for me. And I think more than anything, being with yourself and then being with the other lady business owners, it's made me really believe in me, because you know, I feel very much like I belong with them, and if they can do it, so can I.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're not little holidays, are they? I think a lot of people think, oh, you're going to a nice hotel. But they are completely transformational. And the way that I structure them, we get the best out of all of you and create that ripple effect, that momentum for you to then go on and achieve quite quickly some of the most amazing opportunities that come off the back of it.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think one of the things that someone said to me, fed back to me on that retreat was, I think you'd work well in the corporate world. I think they'd like you. And I thought, yeah, I've worked in the corporate world before. So anyway, that's where I'll be going.
Months off the back of that retreat that we had. So good. So powerful. Oh, thank you for sharing your journey, your experience, your results. It's, as I said, I love working with you, and just know the next few months with all the plans that are going through are just super exciting for you and your business. If anyone has got any questions about working with me, I'm completely open book. I'm completely transparent. Feel free to speak to Sharon or drop me a message, or even post in this thread as well if you're catching this on replay. But thank you for joining me, and I'll see you very soon, Sharon, but I will see you ladies soon as well.
Bye, everyone.